Welcome back to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about, but probably should. And today we're kicking off a brand new season on something that's been over hashtag misunderstood and often turned into a lifestyle brand instead of what I suppose what it truly is, and that's mindfulness. Now, before you imagine me sitting on a mountaintop wearing linen and chanting, let me stop you, because this season isn't about turning you into a wellness influencer. It's about showing you that mindfulness isn't a trend. It's actually a survival tool. And boy, did I have to have humble pie when I first heard about mindfulness. And I think it was about 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. I was working for a company called Stronger Brains in neuroscience, and a lady there, she was awesome, talking about how important mindfulness was. And I was like, oh, come on, for real, is it? And I think it was because I actually saw people like, I think Mitchell Pearce when he was playing for the Blues, and I believe the story's right. When he was playing halfback for the Blues and the Blues kept losing a long time in a row and he felt guilty for it, and he said he was in a really dark, deep place, socially, emotionally, and especially mentally. He turned to mindfulness. I'm like, what? And apparently mindfulness got him out of the hole. And then we did a fair bit of work on Kobe Bryant. And I know, unfortunately, he's passed away, but he talked about how meditation set him up for the day. And I think it's because these sports stars got involved and I was into sport. I was like, okay, I need to go to myself and actually look into this. And ever since I did, it's crazy how important it is, because, you know, if you're honest with yourself, when you hear the word mindfulness, you probably picture someone, you know, super serene, sipping herbal tea and breathing in eucalyptus oil and talking very slowly. But what about the rest of us? The overthinkers, exhausted, the high achievers, the burnout teachers, parents, carers, CEOs, people with trauma, people with no spare time. I mean, where do we fit in? And I guess here's the myth. Mindfulness is only for the calm. And that's not true. The truth is mindfulness is actually for the chaotic. In fact, the more reactive and overwhelmed or dysregulated you are, the more you probably need mindfulness. So it's not for aesthetics. It's actually for function. And here's the juicy bit, because this is what the brain science says. Mindfulness isn't spiritual fluff. It's brain training. And the research backs that up. It's in a landmark study at Harvard, researchers found that participants who participated in mindfulness meditation for just 8 weeks showed an increase in grey matter density in the hippocampus, and that's linked to memory and emotional regulation. And that reduced the volume in the amygdala, which is the part responsible for the stress and fear. So what does that mean? It means mindfulness literally shrinks your brain's panic button and strengthens your focus muscle. So you don't need to believe in crystals or incense. You just need to pause, breathe, and be where you are. And even if that's just for, like, for example, 30 seconds. Because also it can get controversial, mindfulness, because most of us are avoiding mindfulness because we're too busy. We're avoiding it because we're afraid to feel. Mindfulness forces you to sit still with whatever it is there, whether it's grief, rage, exhaustion, guilt. And for many of us, stillness is actually terrifying, especially in the day and age where we are, because we scroll, we binge, we busy ourselves, we become numb. But as I always say, if you don't face it, you're actually going to feed it. And you can only outrun yourself for so long. So let's be real now. Mindfulness doesn't always have to look like a wellness retreat. Sometimes mindfulness is just not screaming in the car that's in front of you, just slam on the brakes when you're on the way, to work. It's not reacting to the email that actually triggered you from your boss or from a friend that you can't believe you got. It's not eating the full Tim Tam when you are already full. Man, those days, back to university days when I only ate a whole pack of Tim Tams except for maybe 2, and then I looked down at those 2 and I thought, gee, you 2 are lonely by yourselves. You better come to me and I'd eat them as well. So mindfulness can be in a whole range of things. Sometimes just taking one breath before you reply to someone, and that's it. That's the whole practice. You don't need a $9 yoga mat or a Himalayan salt lamp. You just need a moment, and that moment can actually change everything. So how can you actually start mindfulness today? If you're out there listening to this and you haven't tried it, or you've been, you've been sort of avoiding it and thinking, I don't believe this either. Well, here's some no fluff, no filters ideas. Number 1, use a micro moment. Pick something mundane like brushing your teeth or making your first coffee in the morning, and just be fully present for 30 seconds. Like, feel it, smell it, hear it. Don't multitask. Just be in that moment for 30 seconds. Just what you normally do. And 2, name what's happening. Pause and ask, what am I feeling? Not fixing, just noticing. Labeling feelings reduces their power. All right? If you actually say, yeah, I'm actually feeling really stressed today, by owning that, you're actually reducing the power of that. And another way is you can actually anchor your awareness. Like choose one sensory anchor, your breath, the feel of your feet on the cold tiles in winter, like the warmth of a mug of coffee. Return to what what your mind. What I'm trying to say. Return to that when your mind actually spirals out of control, like when you start losing focus. So just try and picture and be in that moment, right? Even if it's for 30 seconds. It doesn't mean your life slows down. It just means you're not stopping getting swept away, or you're stopping getting swept away by it. So look, here's some prompts to action. I know it's only first episode, and people out there might be going, it's okay for you. I don't do that kind of thing. All right. If it's been proven scientifically to calm the amygdala, which is your emotional store, your emotional part of your brain, why wouldn't you be open for this, if not for yourself and the people who you may react around you? And that's what I want to sort of test you with today, or challenge you with today, I should say. So here's some general prompts. Writing this down again. This is our last 8-week episode on the innate code, things that we think give you holistic health. So number one, where in your life are you living on autopilot, and what would look like to be sort of more present? So be honest. What's slipping by and unnoticed? Number two, when you're afraid, and you feel like you need to slow down and pay attention to yourself, where is that? Like, name it without judgment. And number three, when is one moment today when I could actually choose presence over reaction? So plan it and practice it. So if you're going to a staff meeting and you're going, this is going to suck, I know it's going to suck, and I don't want to be there, right? Where can you actually go, yeah, I'm going to own that feeling. It is actually going to suck, but I'm actually going to be sitting there and I'm going to take at least one thing in. I say this to the kids out there, so all the students out there who might be listening to this, is you're going to a lesson where, you don't want to be there, you may clash with the teacher, or you think it's stuff, Try and get a few things out of it. Number one, try and find something different out of that lesson that you didn't know before. So new information, new content. Number two, can you question something? What's something when someone says, a teacher says something, or a student brings something up in that lesson, and is it something you go, I'm not sure about that? And as soon as you start questioning and asking questions, you actually start learning more and digging deeper and having deeper knowledge. All right. And third thing, can I find something in this lesson that actually solidifies what I already know? Oh, yeah, I already knew that, so I'm on the right track. If you're looking for those three things, then I think you can also add some interest. So in your day today, the people I'm talking to out there, what's one moment today where you could actually choose presence over reaction? What's one thing you actually go, I'm actually going to be present in this moment? So look, that's our first episode. Let's kick off. So mindfulness isn't a luxury. It's actually a lifeline. It's not about escaping life. It's about actually showing up for it. So we're going to talk about the truth, the science, the mess, the breakthroughs. You don't have to be perfect to practice mindfulness. You just need to be willing and then see the difference. And I'm Gary. Thanks for joining us today for our first episode. And we look forward to the next 7 to see if mindfulness can improve your life.